What's up everyone? As the title of this video suggests, we're going to talk about parkour politics today. But before I talk about the political world of parkour, first I just wanted to talk about how I don't talk about politics in general on my YouTube channels. On this public forum, I don't really talk about anything controversial because probably the main reason that I don't is that, one, my channels are mainly parkour related, so it's not very fitting to talk about controversial things that have nothing to do with parkour, which is why today's controversial thing is actually related to parkour. But anyways, I'm also just in general someone who's very open-minded and very thoughtful of every side of every issue that you can think of. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean I don't have my own opinions and positions on certain things. I just tend to not share them because over the past few years I've realized that my opinion on things are always changing as I gain more knowledge and understanding of specific issues. And so as I gain a better understanding, my opinion will change. And so I've realized I'm not one to really come out strong on certain issues or whatever it may be, anything in general, because I don't know if a few years from now I'll be like, oh, why did I say that? I didn't even know what I was saying back then. And that's just how I am. My opinion's always evolving because I'm always gaining new information and I'm always open-minded to the people I talk to. But my main general philosophy on anything in general is how does something harm someone and how does something help someone? And I try, and there's always different perspectives and everything, but in general I try to prioritize not harming anyone, not harming things, and sometimes it just is a matter of research, and sometimes things are harmful either way or helpful either way, and it's just trying to decide what works best for you. So anyways, that's just kind of a general philosophy I take, in that I constantly am learning and trying to understand people's perspectives, because everyone comes from a different background and different experiences, and I think that's important to keep in mind for us to better understand each other so that we can ultimately get along and make the world a peaceful, happy place. I know that's what everyone says, but that's the reality of it, you know. The differences we have are because of lack of understanding on both sides, and so my goal is to always try to be understanding, even if it's not something I agree with. I still try to be understanding and at least understand where they're coming from, even if I don't agree with where they're coming from. So anyways, that's why, long story short, that's why I don't talk about controversial issues on even my vlogging channel, because my views on those things are always evolving and changing, and until I see a real need to really come out and be strong about something, I'll just talk about parkour and things that you guys relate to, which is why you're here anyway. So let's get to the matter at hand. We're talking about politics and parkour, and as you may have recently heard, there's been this crazy thing going on with f.i.g, the Federal International Gymnastics something or other. I don't know the exact terminology, but basically the International Gymnastics Federation wanting to become the authority of parkour. And if you've been at all in the parkour world or community on social media or anything, then you'll have learned about this. And while most of the community has been against it, there have been people who have come out and been in support of it. But for the most part, people have been against it, and I tried to keep an open mind to like what was happening at hand. It seemed the main issues were that gymnastics is completely different from parkour, so that shouldn't become the authority of parkour. They're mainly doing it for the money side of it, because parkour is this up-and-coming trending discipline or sport that attracts a lot of younger kids and things like that, and gymnastics is kind of, you know, it's still popular, but it's not on this, at least as it seems, it's not on this same boom that parkour is. So anyways, some of the positive aspects are that it would allow for bigger things to happen in the parkour world, allow more opportunities for bigger competitions, bigger events, bigger sponsorships, more higher paying opportunities for professionals, you know, things like that. And so those are all beneficial things, but is it worth the cost of keeping the kind of authentic rawness of parkour and the way the community has been run, kind of this free-for-all that of people coming together and sharing ideas, and even though there's differences in ideas on what parkour is, what free running is, and things like that, in general people can come together and just train and enjoy the movement of it, and really only battle it out in an online forum. But for the most part, people are able to cross those boundaries of differences and different nationalities and whatever it may be, to come together and just enjoy that we're humans and that we enjoy a human movement together that is parkour and free running. And I think that's what's awesome about the community. And so because it's been like that, everyone's kind of done their own thing, to suddenly have an authority come in sounds kind of scary. It's like, well, what does that mean? What's going to happen? And I can't really say for sure. I don't know what would happen, but what has come about in kind of direct opposition to this f.i.g kind of wanting to take over and become the authority of parkour is this other organization has rised up called Parkour Earth. And what's really cool about it is it's actually just groups of different organizations from different countries, parkour organizations coming together to elect people to represent parkour and come together with ideas to be the authority basically on uniting the community and bringing things forward. I think it's a much better way for it to be done because it, at least from my perspective, it seems that it's not profit-based. It's purely based to benefit the community. I'm still one that's just kind of a rogue element in the parkour community. I like doing my own thing and whatever, and I think there'll still be lots of that, and it'll be interesting to see where this goes. But it definitely seems like it has a lot more support than f.i.g had, and I think part of that is due to just people's natural response to want to be in opposition to f.i.g, because clearly it's going to be inevitable that some organization or something will become some form of authority, governing body, and I think it's better that it be something that we trust and can give our own word in and things like that than something that we don't really have any control over. So those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these issues. I'll have a link to some of these things you can read about so that you can further inform yourself, because I can't just give you all the details on how all of these things operate off the top of my head. Just kind of generalities of what I've learned and have been thinking about, because in some form or another it will affect the community and it will affect how future things happen. To what extent, I have no idea. We can theorize that. You can let me know if you have a better idea of what you think will happen with these things. But either way, I think it's good for us to inform ourselves on these things so that we can either prepare for it, support it, or be in opposition of it. And I would hope that whatever you do, that you put a lot of research into it before you take a strong position on anything, and not just do it because of someone telling you to do it, or someone, maybe an athlete you're a big fan of. Just because you're a fan of some big athlete who has one opinion or another, don't just do it because they say that. Maybe they do have valid reasons, but research those reasons for yourself and come to your own conclusion, and then do whatever you think is best on there. Anyways, I'm probably making this a bigger deal than it actually is. I just wanted to talk about it because I found it a very interesting subject and think it's fun to talk about and discuss what the future possibilities are for the parkour community, and ultimately just bringing the community together to do parkour, do what we do best. So anyways, yeah, once again, let me know what you guys think, because I want to hear your thoughts. Anyways, that's all I've got for now, rambling on about kind of this political discussion in the parkour world. I never, in my younger years of doing parkour, thought that parkour would ever become political, but it makes sense that it would happen inevitably because it's grown so big that it'll just happen that a governing body will take over. Or not necessarily take over, but just, you know, things like that will happen, and we need to be aware of it so we know how it'll affect us in the parkour world. So anyways, thanks for watching this video, guys, and I look forward to talking to you in the comments. So thanks for watching.